From the studios of KHTS in beautiful downtown Newhall, California, it's time once again for Families in Action with your host, Cary Quashen.
Co-host,
Families in Action.
Co-host, Michael. Co-host.
Co-host, Cary's in Action.
Cary's in Action.
Families in Action is brought to you by Action Family Counseling, alcohol and drug counseling for teens and adults, and by the Action Family Foundation. And by KHTS, AM 1220, your hometown station. And now, here's the man with the most. Here's your co-host, Cary Quashen.
So he calls me the man with the most, but you're the silver fox.
The silver fox.
You're the silver fox, so that says a lot. So anyways, Families in Action is brought to you by your local hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. We've been on the air just about 13 years.
Yes, we have. Well, wow. You have. I haven't been here that long.
Oh, you've been here a long time.
A while.
I'm telling you. But almost 13 years to be able to give our message. That's pretty darn cool.
It is very, very cool.
So that and also by Action Family Counseling, which is we do alcohol and drug rehabilitation. We have intensive outpatient programs. We have residential treatment programs. We have all levels of care when it comes to dealing with alcohol or drugs.
You do.
I know.
If we started listing them all, we'd have to have an hour and a half program.
We'd be here for a while, that's for sure. And also the Action Foundation. I'm going to let you tell us about
Well,
that.
you know, as I say just about every week, one of the things that I think is cool about the foundation is that you're in the schools you're providing forums for parents as well as for teens.
We are, and I'll tell you what, if you have a teen, come to Canyon High School every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. We have a parent support group. I actually run that group, and we've been there for many, many years. And
you have.
I have 3 counselors that deal with adolescents, teenagers, for just about any kind of scope of practice when it comes to substance abuse, low self-esteem, running away, school problems, family problems, you name it. We deal with it.
So if
and
parents,
it's free.
Yeah, and that's really a cool thing.
There's
about it.
no reason not to come.
Not a reason in the world. And parents.
But you know what, Mike? But I have to say this before, as we're talking about this. I was there last week, and there was a dad, looked kind of lost. You can always tell new people. You know, so I went over and I introduced myself, and I said, "You're new?" And he says, "Well, kind of." And I've heard this so many times. I said, "What do you mean?" I already knew what he was going to say. He says, "Well, I tried to come for the last 3 weeks in a row, but I just didn't have the guts to come in." It's a scary thing.
Well, sure.
When you're having a problem with your kid, to be able to say, walk into a group of people you don't know, number one, and trust them, and number two, you kind of fail. He says, "I feel like a failure." And I said, "No, failures don't come."
That's true.
People that want help and are willing to do what they need to do, they're not failures. And you could just kind of see the relief in that parent. And he says, what if another mom said, actually, what if I see somebody I know? I said, then they're in the same boat.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those kind of things where it's a parent support group. Nobody's going to judge anybody in this room. Everybody's there to help, period, or get helped, or both. Yeah. So you can't go wrong.
You're not a failure because you have to go someplace and seek assistance, seek some help.
No.
You know, parenting doesn't. You don't go to a class and get a certificate.
Well, you can.
You can.
There are classes that will give you a
certificate.
But that's still, this kind of a group is a little different because it's a support group. And you can come for one session, or we have people that's been there 6 years that come every week. They're out of crisis, but now they're there to help other people, give them experience, strength, and hope. So it's one of those kind of groups that goes on forever, and you really meet some really great people that really are genuine. You know, they're there because they want to help, and nobody will ever judge anybody.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I think that's
unless you come, we might judge you.
Oh, well, wouldn't be the first time.
I'm telling you.
But that's one of the reasons why I bring that up for the foundation, is because I think that's just a marvelous program that you're offering, and as you say, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Cary, I know where you and I are going to be next Saturday, April 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Sleeping? At a swap meet?
No.
Riding a motorcycle?
We won't be. Well, you can ride your bike. You can ride your bike to this one. But KHTS, Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital, the Santa Clarita Gazette, and the SCV Sheriff's Station have all teamed up.
And Action.
Or
you almost forgot the best part.
Wow.
Well, I won't know about the best. We're all good.
The SCV Drug Take Back Program. Now, if you're wondering what this is all about, It's really simple. This is where you get to turn in all your unused or expired medications. Go through your medicine cabinet, go through your drawers. I had somebody come up to me this week and say, well, I just flushed mine down the toilet. And I said,
I had that today on a text message.
Yeah.
That they had found the prescription of Xanax, and they flushed it down the toilet. That's a really bad idea. It's not good for the environment.
There you go. We don't want to put our fishies on Xanax.
No, we don't. Because
I don't want to eat a fish that has been taking Xanax. Do you?
What happened? I don't know. I Red Lobster and I got high.
I got very high from something I ate. Anyway, all joking aside, this is serious. And last year we had a really good turnout. And here's what happens, just in case you're wondering. When you show up, nobody asks you any questions. We just help you. We'll be the guys with the rubber gloves. We'll be helping you to put the drugs in the boxes.
Do we wear rubber gloves? I forgot.
We did last year.
Did we? I don't remember that.
And then the DEA is actually going to take these away. The sheriff's going to help them, but they're going to take them away and they incinerate them. That's how they get rid of them.
Why is it so important, Mike? Why are we doing this?
Well, we're providing a service, and we don't want them to go flush it. And the other thing is we don't want other people to go through their medicine cabinets and get these. Kids are getting these things out of your medicine cabinet.
Well, we're having, and this is, I know we talk about this every week, and I'm not going to stop. I mean, we're going to get into alcohol awareness stuff, but we're not. We're going to stop for a minute, and we're going to stay on the same kind of deal that we've been doing. We're dealing with almost 50,000 lives of deaths, 50,000 deaths a year on, listen to this, accidental drug overdoses. And the majority of that is opiates and benzos. So what does that mean? That means we need to get these drugs off the street. We need to get them out of our medicine cabinets and away from our children. We need to be aware of what our kids are taking. I got two things today on Facebook. So the first one, I'll read a little bit of it. And this came from Delaware, because I'm on all these sites with people are talking. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'm extremely pissed. In my state of Delaware, another child was sent home post-tonsillectomy. How do you pronounce that? Tonsillectomy? Yeah, exactly, with oxycodone. Another child almost lost her life because of the stupidity of the prescribing doctor. The child was revived by paramedics with Narcan. Isn't that amazing? 9-year-old. I mean, I'm sorry, this was a teen. The next one's a 9-year-old. This child was revived by paramedics with Narcan after being found unresponsive by her mother. Since when did oxycodone be the go-to drug for post-tonsillectomy? Think this. It used to be popsicles.
You know what I got when I had my tonsils removed? Aspergum.
Oh, yeah,
I was all 5 years old.
Right, tonsils and popsicles. Now
Aspergum is
they're
a long
giving
ways.
teenage. This is a kid,
a
little
That's what
kid.
I'm saying. Aspergum is a long ways from oxy.
The next one. This was in Wisconsin. 9-year-old Wisconsin boy dies after having tonsils removed. A 9-year-old Milwaukee boy has died after undergoing surgery to have his tonsils removed. The Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office says Solomon, I'm not going to mention his last name, was pronounced dead on Friday. The child had his tonsils taken out February 9th at an outpatient surgery center and was given a dose of oxycodone. Then sent home. Later that evening, Solomon's parents gave him another prescription dose of oxycodone and noticed about an hour later he wasn't breathing.
What happened to Aspergum?
What's going on here?
It's crazy.
I mean, and I don't believe these docs are doing anything intentionally, but we really need to pay attention. And these are 9-year-old kid, and they actually, the FDA approved it for kids, what was it, 6 years old?
Yeah, I remember that.
For oxycodone. Yeah. And now they're dying.
So that's an excellent reason to bring back your drugs for the take back. And it's easy to find, Cary, when they come up. We're going to be right in the front of Henry Mayo.
Right in the little roundabout, exactly.
Yeah, in the little roundabout there. And that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's this coming Saturday, April 30th.
Now, if you think about it, when you're having children and they start being able to crawl, what do? You baby-proof your home.
You sure do.
You put little locks on your cabinets so they can't get to the bleach and all that kind of stuff.
Take things off of tables.
Take things off of tables. If we have sharp corners, we put things on them. So here's the deal. Now we have teenagers. We have to now, I know this sounds crazy, drug-proof our homes. We have to safety our homes from these kids. And if not our kids, well, our kids are great. They're never going to do it. What about their friends? You just don't know. The faces of people that use drugs are different today. You can never tell. In fact, we're even having problems in real estate. People are going on open houses, and they're really not there to look at houses. They're going through medicine cabinets. Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah.
So it is so important for us to do these drug take-back days and to really get rid of these drugs appropriately. Maybe we can beat up that number, Michael.
I just had a great idea, Cary. You know what you should do?
What should I do?
All of these real estate agents that are doing open houses, when they have people remove the drugs, you ought to put action brochures in the medicine cabinet. So when they open it up, they get a positive message. What do you think?
That really is
Pretty
a good idea.
I like that.
No drugs here. Call action.
No drugs here. Call action. You need help.
Exactly. But, anything we can do to beat this number up and we are, it's really terrible, but we are responsible for a lot of this because every time I talk to a child that is using pills and I say, where do you get them? Somebody got them from their mother's or parent or dad's medicine cabinet. That's where somebody got them.
And as we've been talking through, April is Alcohol Awareness Month. We know that 13 and 14-year-olds, the first time they get a drink, almost all of them are saying they got it from their parents' liquor cabinet or someplace in their parents' house.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got from the action file, Cary. E-cigarettes are now the most widely used tobacco product among teens.
Vaping, e-cigarettes, same kind of thing, right?
E-cigarettes are now the most widely used tobacco product, according to a report from the Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. E-cigarettes use rose among middle school and high school students from 2011 to 2015. Listen to this. 3 million middle and high school students used e-cigarettes in 2015. Overall, use of tobacco products by teens has not fallen since 2011. Wow.
So e-cigarettes and vaping was actually introduced as a way to cut back or quit smoking.
Yeah.
And everybody got excited because a lot of people were quitting their smoking habits, right? But now what happened is more and more kids that probably never would have smoked are vaping. Now, and they never would have. So is that good or bad? You think that through, and then you hear, well, at least I'm not smoking. Well, anytime you inhale anything and you put it in your lungs, it can't be good. And by the way, a lot of that vaping and e-cigarettes has tobacco in it.
Yes.
So now we're taking kids that might not have ever smoked,
right,
and we're multiplying that number by far, and they're using this. Whatever you want to call it.
Well, and this article goes on to say nicotine, of course, is an addictive drug, and use during adolescence may cause lasting harm to brain development. That's important.
You think?
4.7
a little bit.
Hello. 4.7 million middle and high school students say they've used a tobacco product at least once in the previous month. More than 2.3 million teens use 2 or more tobacco products. Now listen to this.
And by the way, tobacco is really the gateway drug.
Oh, very much so.
It's the first contract that kids, adolescent break. I'll never smoke cigarettes. I won't use drugs. Almost all of them. The first contract they do is some kind of tobacco product, and then it goes on from there.
Well, and besides e-cigarettes, here's what the CDC also found that they're using. High school students last year, tobacco used included cigars, hookahs, smokeless tobacco, which would be e-cigarettes, or it's chewing, I guess, and biddies. What are those skinny cigarettes, right? Now, they were popular a couple of years ago. I think those are those little skinny cigarettes. Gotcha. May come in flavors, I'm not sure. Anyway, since we were talking about e-cigarettes, here is a big danger. Doctors are unsure if Cordero Caples will ever walk again after an e-cigarette exploded in the 29-year-old college student's face. Okay, he was using this device during a work break. Here's what happened. It exploded. It shattered his vertebrae. He got a broken neck, facial fractures, and broken teeth. Now,
Why am I hearing more and more of these stories?
Listen to this one.
Aren't we?
Oh, yeah. E-cigarettes grow in popularity, and stories of them catastrophically malfunctioning are making headlines. Here's another one. Earlier this month, an Arkansas man suffered shattered teeth, severed lips, that hurts,
Ouch.
and burns resulting from an e-cigarette explosion. In October, a Kansas man suffered burns to his hands when his e-cigarette blew up. And here's another one. There is a teenager. Let me get to the next page here. A 14-year-old has been blinded in one eye and potentially faces permanent damage to his hands, both of his hands, after allegedly just testing an e-cigarette at a mall kiosk in Brooklyn, New York. And they're not supposed to sell them to kids, right? So they're going to be looking into how
that's
this
the
kid
rumor.
walks up and says, "Hey, I'd like to give that a try," and now he may have permanent damage to his hands.
You know, and we've kind of, as a society, we've kind of surrendered. You know, we've surrendered to vaping, and we surrendered really to marijuana and THC. So we've done it. We really have some issues that we need to pay attention to.
Boy,
And you know why we surrendered to all that? It's the lack of involvement with our children.
Does that have to do with how much time we spend with our kids?
It has to do with how much time we spend with our kids. You know, in most homes, if there's a mom and dad even living together, people work, they take care of business, right? So the real problem that we have now is, think about it, with our children. They go to bed. What is the last thing our children do before they go to sleep?
They check their social media.
They check their
cell
social media.
phones, yeah.
So they actually go to sleep with their friends, yes?
They do.
What is the very first thing they do when they wake up in the morning before they use the restroom?
After they get only one eye open, they start checking their social media.
So they go to sleep with their friends, and now they wake up with their friends, and they go to school.
And of course, we do know that many of them sleep with this cell phone, so they're doing this all night long.
So they go to sleep, they wake up with their buddies, they go to school, they're with their buddies, they come home, mom and dad are working in most homes, if they're living together. Right in California, it's the divorce capital of the world, so who knows what's going on. So they come home to an empty house? No. They come home to their buddies, right? Either in person or on social media again. We come home and we say, "Hey, Mike, how was your day?" "It was good, Dad. How was school?" "It was okay. Any homework? I done it. Are you hungry?" "I ate." Right back to their room. What are they doing? Back with their friends again. So that we have our kids, and I've been really doing surveys, right, for years, 2 to 10 minutes. That's how much an average parent spends with their teenager today. 2 to 10 minutes, and they're with their buddies. 16 hours. You want to know why? We have such a lax society when it comes to vaping and pot and all that kinds of stuff, because we don't want to rock the boats.
Yeah.
We don't see our kids enough anyway, so when we do, why fight with them? So we surrender to the fact that maybe they're not as bad as the other kids. It's only pot, it's only vaping.
Right. It's only vaping, and they may end up losing their lips.
Well, you know what? Forget. I mean, that's an exception, obviously. But more than that is, what about cancer and all the other stuff that could happen?
Oh, absolutely. The stuff that they're
Right.
inhaling are chemicals, and those
Right.
are not good for their body.
And you know, Mike, I believe we're getting some call-ins, and just in case you want to call in,
Right.
our phone number here is 661-298-5487. Feel free to call. I think we're going to go on break. Is it break time? In 2 minutes. So, okay, I don't want to bring the caller in yet and then cut them off. So just kind of hang on, and when we come back from break, we'll bring in the call-ins. And by the way, it's again 661-298-5487.
Cary,
Yes.
I was going to say, after we come back from our break, we need to revisit that thing we started a couple of weeks
Yes,
ago
we
about
do. I know
ignition
exactly.
interlock device.
Why do you think we need to do that?
Oh, to save lives. That's the one and only reason.
Yeah, so we're really about saving lives, and we're talking about overdoses and kids, and when we're done with our call-ins, we're also going to talk about alcohol and car crashes,
Oh, boy.
and the amount of deaths that come with that. So we have some good ideas, don't we?
We do. I think this is a fabulous idea.
I do too. I wonder why has it been thought about? Are we the first one to think about this? I doubt it.
I doubt it, but it's already in use for people that are already drunk driver offenders. But this is something that should happen across the board, because, as we know, 4 million people a month in the United States are driving drunk each month.
And I think I've seen them all this weekend.
Each month.
Driving on the freeway. I mean, it's just amazing what you see sometimes. People they can't
I'll
even
say.
stay in their lane. And you know how many times I've called 911 and actually followed people because they're going to kill somebody. One guy we followed from Simi to Pasadena. When he got out of the car, he fell with the highway patrol. He just fell. He couldn't stand.
Passed right out.
Just fell
and
to
this
the
was the
ground.
person that moments ago was behind the wheel.
Well,
of this
I don't, yeah, but
huge vehicle.
He was. I mean, I don't know how he didn't hit anyone. He was driving all over. People were moving out of his way. I mean, people were flashing brights and honking horns. It was really kind of crazy.
And he was probably wondering, how can I possibly be driving on two freeways at the same time?
Exactly.
Because he was seeing double vision.
So, hey, when we come back from break, we are going to bring our callers on. This is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.